This is a video on how to do this picture. It's our mason jar picture. You can see, if you look on the inside, it's hard to see from the picture, but see how it has the green and it's kind of swooshed in there. I'm going to show you how I do that and then how I put these stamps on. It's so simple. The only two colors it takes is the green. I'm using Kermit, this one here, and I'm using Key Lime Pie. That's it, 2 colors. If you want, you can use Polar Bear for the handle. You can use it for this top up here. I didn't use that though. I thought you can just leave it blank if you'd like to, because it's going to be white anyway when you dip and fire it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the soft fan brush, and I'm going to use this. This is the Key Lime Pie. I'm going to add some water. All right, so you're gonna hold the jar and you're gonna water down, like I did, the Key Lime Pie, and you're just gonna go inside the jar and you're just gonna swoosh it in there. Try to make it swishy so you give some heavy and light areas, so it's not, all the same. So it's not just all. So I'm just really moving the brush, like splattering it on almost. I'm not really brushing it on because I don't want the brush look. So this is what I'm going to do. Now, so you want to go right up to the top. Right up to the edge. Okay, we're gonna leave that top white, so it's okay if you get some on the edge. We'll clean that up later. So now I'm gonna do the jar the same way on the outside. Now the same thing, I kind of watered it down. I'm gonna clean it up after. I want it very light and very wishy-washy. That's the word I'm gonna use. So this is how you're gonna apply this. This particular jar, believe it or not, you can't get much simpler than this technique that I just did on this. All right, so I got, I try not to leave any white spots, but you really just need that one coat. Now, it's gonna dry. In the meantime, I'm gonna take my sponge and I'm gonna try to wipe off, because I want this white. So I'm gonna wipe off the edge, right to the edge of the jar, for this to be white. Get all the green off, just going around it, just on that top area. And I'm also, now I can already touch this because it's already dry. I'm also going to make sure my handle's clean. But in order to get nice, perfect straight lines, I'm going to do, or the brush that I've showed you in other videos, my favorite brush, this one here with the little square tip, and it's very small, but it's my cleanup brush. So I wet it, I dab it off, okay, wet and dab, and you're just going to use water and you're going to clean all around these edges so you got a nice, you can see you get a nice perfect edge. And that's how I get my nice clean lines, because you can't get in there with a sponge, you really can't. So if you do this, you just keep wetting it, dab it off though, because you don't want too much water. And you're just going to get clean off those edges. I'm also going to do the same thing on this top area. So I want a nice clean edge around here. So like I said, it's hard to get that with the sponge without messing up the rest of it. So this brush will give you that nice, if you can see this, that nice clean line, nice clean edge. Just keep wetting it, dab it, and then clean off the color. Especially with this is especially easy with only one coat on there. See, so it's giving me that nice clean look. Makes you look like you can do a perfect line, and it's really not. It's really not difficult. So it's hard to see because it's such a light color, but you can see that that line is nice and perfect now because of that little brush. Okay, now I'm ready to put my stamps on. Now, with this particular piece, as you can see, I've got a lot of different stamps. So I just picked out of a bag as many stamps as I could. Now I'm going to use my green, my Kermit color, and I'm going to take this, and I'm going to, now my brush is, you know, I put it in the water, I squeezed it out, so it's kind of damp, but it's, you know, it's wrung out good. Now this is how I'm going to do my stamps. So I'm going to take one particular stamp. Actually, I'm going to take this bigger one. Now you can see I've got some that are the clear stamps, some that are these red stamps. A lot of the stamps I get at Michael's and stuff. I mean, some of them, like, I take the backs off, the wooden backs off, because if you had a wooden back on this, you would have a hard time, you know, you could roll it around, but now I can go just like this with it because I can bend it now that it's off the, you know, off the block. Okay, so I'm going to dab my sponge in the green. And this is how I'm going to put on my stamp. Now I'm going to cover this. I'm going to cover this big stamp. Now you don't want to water down this green because you want this full strength. So I'm going to stamp I'm going to put the color on my stamp by sponging it. Make sure you get it all. Then I'm going to take my stamp and I'm going to put it down, and I'm going to make sure I get the whole thing, hopefully, but with this kind of a vase, doesn't matter that much. Okay, there's my stamp, see? So I might put like 2 of this big one on, then I'm going to go around it with the smaller stamps. I'm going to put one more on here, over this side. All right, so I got 2 stamps on. Now I'm going to get this one. Can you choose any one you want? If you do the stamps this way, they go on really nice. You know, you don't have to put a lot of paint on it to get a nice, you know, to get it nice. Never dip it in the paint. Always put it on with a sponge. Okay. Now you're going to see how this one comes out. That one come out really nice. And then dab it again. Like I said, this is a quick technique. I'm gonna, at the end, you're gonna see that I'm gonna overlap some of them. Right? Can't get any easier than this. Although you always tell me in my classes that I always say everything's easy. But this truly is easy. Okay. I'll do one more of these down here. It's harder to lay it down if it's not dry, so. Okay, now I'm going to take this one because I kind of like this stamp. You'll see what this one is. You just need different type of leaves. You don't have to have the same exact ones I have. Okay, so this one looks like this, which I think it breaks it up a little bit more. Now you can spread these out and do less. You don't have to do as many leaves as I got on the picture I have. I overlapped them and everything else, but if you want to just keep just a few leaves on it, you can do that also. Now make some of your leaves go upside down and make some of your leaves go, I'm going to use this smaller one here. You want some of your leaves to be small and some to be large, but you want some that can go up over that edge, on that edge, okay, so that you don't want like just nothing up there on all of it. So you want to keep going with that. That's probably good for the smaller leaves. I like to overlap. This leaf right here, this one here is kind of big, so I would probably overlap some of that. It doesn't matter if the leaf doesn't come out completely either. So you can see sometimes I put it on and I don't get every edge, but that's okay with this technique. I also have like a more solid leaf. So let's see how this solid leaf works. This is a leaf that you can see the back side. That'll show you a little bit more of what it looks like. So it's solid. So we'll see how this one looks on there. Let's see if I can find a spot. So this gives it a little more. See how that one came out? So that's this one here. So it's just a little more solid in it. It breaks it up a little bit, you know. Not that what leaves, the leaves you pick aren't going to make or break it, but you know, your whole design. It's just that, you know, if you pick out the right leaves, it's going to look better, of course. Depends what you do, you know. Like this is a nice, that's why I'm trying to tell you to pick out, you know, some big leaves, small leaves, solid leaves, some like this that have this, you know, like, you know, more like with a little branch on it. Now this sleeve here I really like, so I'm gonna overlap it in a few places. And you notice I don't have to keep dipping my sponge in the paint because I still got plenty of paint on the sponge. So I just have to keep tapping it, and then I can just keep going with it. Leaves are great. I mean, you could do this same vase in a color, so that you have like maybe, I don't know, like fall colors, and use fall type leaves. Like these aren't fall type leaves. These are more springtime leaves. But I do have some leaves that are like fall color. They're kind of a fall leaves. I'm not like a garden person or anything, so I just paint, you know. I don't do much for gardening, so I don't know my leaves or my flowers. I know what a rose looks like, especially when someone gives one to me, but that's about it. This is it. That's really what you're gonna do. So you can see these are a little more spread out than this. The finished one, the leaves are a little bit more overlapping. So you can do it either way. You're just gonna dip this, drain it, shake it off, and fire it to an 06, and that's it. You're finished. So that's my little leaf mason jar picture class for the day. See you later.